Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dad's Making. If I'm not mistaken, it's the big 10, the 10, the double digit for this for this show. So what are we making today? Today, well, I'm making, maybe you're making too, are coconut milk cookies. I had some coconut milk still here, so I thought, why not? Okay, so what do we need? 1.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of butter, room temperature, 2 egg yolks, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 cup of coconut milk, 3/4 of a cup of cacao nibs or chocolate chips, 1/4 cup of shredded coconut, sweetened or unsweetened, and for the topping, again, you can use cocoa nibs or chocolate chips, or like I've got fudge here and some giant buttons, which I'll, crunch down before putting them in so they're not so giant anymore. Okay, so I have preheated my oven, 350 Fahrenheit, 200. I've lined the thing with baking, with a baking sheet. So we need our flour. And how much did we say? 1.5 cups of flour. I think I may need to refill this. Oopsie, well, that's 1 cup, and let's see that we maybe do a little bit less than half now, seeing that some fell to the wayside. Let's not put all in. Yeah, that should be fine. Great, so our 1.5 cups of flour are in. Then we need our baking powder. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a little bit more, just for good measure. So then our salt, it says like 1/4 of a teaspoon. So yeah, that should be okay. Good sea salt, a few cracks here, and then 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. So 3/4. Let's put them in. Now let's get them all mixed together nicely. That's fine. We can also use our whisk instead of our hands, so that's great. So next we need to put in our butter. It says here with a fork. So let's follow the recipe. 1/2 cup of butter is 64 grams. I looked it up. So let me just quickly see. 25, 50, 60, okay. 25, 50, 60. So it's roughly that amount. So let's have our butter and put that to the side. And it says basically to mix it in until the dough is coarse, like a coarse meal. Yeah, it's getting nice and coarse, as you can see here. Let's get our butter incorporated as much as we can. And seeing that we have a fork, you know. We'll mash it together nicely. Does that look like a course meal to you? Sure does for me. No big chunks of butter left. At least none that I can see. So that's fine. So now we need to mix in the yolks, the vanilla, and the coconut milk. So, as I always say, in my house we like vanilla extract. So you could put in the teaspoon of vanilla extract, or if you're like me, just put it in the little bottle and make sure to get every last drop. We wouldn't want to be wasting any. Wasting any. Then we need egg yolks. So what does that mean? We need to separate the eggs. So, okay. Back and forth and back and forth. It's easier than you think. So, number one, let's get that bit of shell out of our egg white. And number two, so let's just make sure that we are not going to break our yolk too much. Well, doesn't really matter, does it? Because we're going to mix it up anyway in a moment. What did I say? Yolks, vanilla, and the coconut milk. So the coconut milk, I actually need to wipe my hands, but that's okay. So the coconut milk we need half a cup. Seeing that I like the taste of coconut, I'll probably do a few drops extra, but not too many, because of course we don't want to upset the ratios. So mix your can of coconut milk nicely before opening. Of course, before opening, if you do it afterwards, you might have a bit of a problem. So let's get this on here. Okie dokie. So we said half a cup, didn't we? Yeah, half a cup of coconut cream. That's okay. Or coconut milk. Yeah, and a dash extra. So. Okie dokie. So, now let's mix this all together so we get a nice, lovely dough. Make sure not to miss any of it. I'm not sure how smart it was of me to use the whisk here, because as you can see now, I have all the dough in here, so let's get it out. Use our fingers here, huh? So. Get it all out of the whisk. It's flying all over the kitchen. Oh no, it's creating chaos. Well, you know what? When you're baking, dough can fly through the kitchen at times. But in the end, all you need to do is clean it up. You know? So I might actually, oh see, so silly of me. I'll actually get fresh gloves and use the proper tool for this. So fresh gloves are quickly gotten, fresh and exciting. Bum, 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 bum. The let's use this here, seeing that it probably won't stick as much here, you know, or maybe it will. Maybe it's surprising me that it does stick a lot. And that's okay. So once we're done with that, oopsie. So next we'll fold in our chocolate and our coconut. Then I need a fresh cup measuring thing, which is called a cup. Surprisingly enough, the cup measuring thing is a cup. So how much coconut did we say? Yeah, quarter of a cup. That's fine. So then it said 1/3 of a cup of cocoa nibs or mini chocolate chips or whatever you want to use. But just take a few, you know. Take a few out, break them apart. You know, they don't need to be even or anything, you know. That's fine. And maybe I won't even break them apart when I put them on top of the cookie. Maybe I'll just leave the button as a button. So then let's get some white ones as well, because then we'll have it double chocolate. And don't worry, my table has been properly disinfected beforehand. So yes, I can lay down the lovely coconut chocolate chips, chocolate buttons, for Mr. Chalk in this case, you know. But if you want to get yours at another place than Aldi, then by all means, or Lidl, you know. There's also Tesco and Super Value and Dunn Stores and even Spar. And let's also put in some fudge, because who doesn't like fudge? Plus they're your cookies, so make them your own, you know. If you want fudge in your cookies, then by all means put fudge in your cookies. So 3/4 of a cup. Now let's mix this all together so that we have it nicely distributed. So you're going to portion this out with 2 teaspoons. I'd say you could also use a ice cream spoon. You know, the portion spoon for when you're scooping ice cream? You can use that as well, if you'd like, you know. Like, I'm not making you use it, but it's just another way of doing it. So, and then I have my grease-proof paper. I have everything ready. So now we'll make some scoops and place them roughly 1 to 2 inches apart. And then on each dough ball, we'll put another bit of coconut, another bit of that I've already prepared. Probably some fudge in there as well, because why not? And then I'm going to put a big round button on top as well. So let's see that we have nice and round bits here. Nice. Yeah, and we'll just continue this until we're done. Maybe even press them down a little bit, you know, because who knows? maybe we want to. And that's the nice thing about these things, huh? I've already prepared a second sheet just in case. Whoops, this one doesn't seem to really want to turn out that well. Yeah, if you guys can do cornels properly, then great. I can't, as you can see clearly from here. So like I said, I've prepared a second grease-proof sheet just in case, because this is the first time I'm doing this batch, and you know, I'll probably need more than one sheet, but I'm just gonna do one sheet here with you guys and then see where I go. A little bit more. You know, they probably won't be round. They'll all probably be some odd shape, but that is absolutely fine. Because you know why? They'll all taste nice of coconut and a bit of fudge and a bit of chocolate. And then isn't that just what we're actually after? That they taste nice. Of course, you can, you know, like I said, you can of course put in the effort and do it nicely. I'm sure they'll come out rounder if you do use an ice cream scoop. They'll come out nice and round. But you know, I don't mind. I don't mind these things at all. So try to make them all sort of evenly sized, because you don't want one to be cooked and the next one to be undercooked or burnt. You know, it'll happen. Like, don't worry about it. It will happen. It's inevitable that they're not the same size unless you're using a scoop. So don't worry about it. You know, just do your best, and your best will be enough. Because you're making the cookies. If somebody else is making the cookies, then you know they can do their best. So, like I said, I'll flatten out the top slightly so that I can put on the coconut. So, and the button in a good way, in a nice way. So let's tap them off lightly. Maybe they're gonna melt anyway, but that's good. So, and then just, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, if you want to have bigger ones, then instead of teaspoons, use tablespoons. And then you'll have them bigger. Or maybe your ice cream spoon is big, or makes nice big round portions, then by all means use that, you know. As I said, they're your cookies. Make them the way you want. Don't let anybody else, even in your household, say otherwise. If they help, you know, then they can help. And if not, then they need to shut their cake hole. Or cookie hole in this case. So, get a few out. Like I said, why not put that one on top? See? I'm gonna make them half and half. So, half brown or dark chocolate, or what is it, milk chocolate, and half white chocolate. They will melt, so it'll all, or each will look slightly different. That's okay too. So I'm going to be making a lot of these. I can already see it. So probably another load. Yeah, probably. But you know what? Who knows? So as you can see, we have our lovely cookies here with coconut and our chocolate button on top. They'll go into the oven now. I'll be right back. So roughly 12 to 14 minutes until they're done. And then the next batch will go in, and maybe even a third batch. But we'll see about that, or more so I'll see about it. I'll show you lovely photos later again on my social media channels. YouTube will be the video, of course, but then Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also Patreon. If you want to support me so that I can make loads more like these videos, then head on over to Patreon. Even if it's just a $5 that you want to contribute a month, $5 helps me greatly. If you want to contribute more, awesome. If you are paying more, you know, in the higher tiers, then you could even become a sponsor of the show. And I'll mention you during the video, either, you know, maybe beginning, middle, or end. And most of the money that I make with Patreon will be put towards my son, you know, for education and all of these kind of things that will come up in the future. He's only 3 now, but it'll go fairly fast. And 3-year-olds need a lot of stuff to learn and to grow and to be educated as well. So, as always, thank you for watching Dad's Making, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.